Good morning and welcome everyone. We still have a few people logging in, so we're going to give them a minute or two to get settled and then we'll get underway. For the people who have joined, I just want to make sure that you can hear me. Please send a message in the chat box if you can hear me clear and well. Awesome. All right, we'll just give it a few more minutes. All right, for the people who have joined, we're just going to give it a few more minutes for the rest of the people to log in. All right, thanks for your patience, everyone. I think we are ready to go. Thanks everyone for joining today's webinar. Today's webinar is being presented by Ingram Micro and Acronis. Today we will be covering how Acronis provides protection to partners' backup data in Azure. So before we get started, I would like to cover housekeeping. Today's webinar is being recorded. We will share a link with each of you after the webinar is completed. We welcome you to revisit the content yourself and share it with your colleagues. You'll also have the opportunity to submit questions to today's speakers by typing your questions into the chat box on your screen. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect these and address them during the Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. Sorry, I just went a slide too far. So just quickly, here's the agenda of the webinar today. We are going to be covering how Acronis seamlessly integrates into Azure, some typical end customer scenarios, a demo of how Acronis integrates with Azure, Q&A, and our super exciting Christmas promos. So make sure you stick around till the end of the webinar. Today we have 3 speakers. So we've got Suresh, who is the Senior Solutions Engineer at Acronis, Roshan, who is the Azure Solution Architect at Ingram Micro, and finally myself, who is hosting you today. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the floor over to Suresh.
Hey, thank you, Daniel. All right. Hello, everyone. Very good morning, and thank you for joining. My name is Suresh, and I'm an Acronis Senior Solution Engineer who is based in Malaysia. All right, for today, I will present about Acronis Cyber Cloud. What are the services that we have that you can actually resell it to your customer based on their requirement. So let me start quickly about the Acronis first, then before I jump into the services. Acronis is a Swiss Singaporean leader in cyber protection, founded in Singapore in 2003, with our international headquarters based in Singapore now. Our corporate headquarters based in Switzerland since 2008, and we are actually growing rapidly with our cloud business with almost 100% growth. And since the company was founded, over 50,000 our partners are transacted with Acronis. They are over 500,000 corporate customers and over 5.5 million prosumer and home business with Acronis. Acronis is a global company with 1,500 employees in 33 locations worldwide. Our products are available in more than 150 countries and are localized to over 40 languages. Acronis present a solution to the challenges of protection of digital world cyber protection. Five vector of cyber protection: safety, a reliable copy for recovery, accessibility, the availability that to access the copy from anywhere at any time, privacy, a complete control over visibility and access to the copy, and authenticity, proof that copy is the exact replica of the original, and security, a protection for cyber threats. So providing complete protection requires a balancing force of all these five factors. So the balanced approach allows us to get the benefit of cyber protection, ease of use, all the protection scenario are integrated within one solution, just one solution. A low total cost of ownership, as an integrated solution is less expensive in a deployment and as well the maintenance. Security, as a security is integrated into the overall protection solution. Control over the access and location of the data, providing the ability to control the privacy of the data. Reliability due to integration, as the vector are working together in one single solution. Thus, these are the low risk than from a combination of multiple solutions that may have a compatibility issue. All right. So Acronis Cyber Cloud is a platform that enables service provider to deliver cyber protection in an easy, efficient, and secure way. With one solution, you and your client gain access to all the services that you can see from this slide. One of our core product is Acronis Cyber Backup Cloud, and recently we have launched a security product, Acronis Cyber Protect. You can actually add on with the Acronis Disaster Recovery Cloud, a file synchronization solution, Acronis Notary services, and software-defined storage, which we call it as Acronis Cyber Infrastructure. So based on this requirement, you can actually customize, you can actually provide the services to your customer. Example, like you want to provide a backup and then add on with the DR, ransomware protection, and also comes with the security features, malware protection. If you want to do a software management by vulnerability assessment, patch management, and you can actually prevent the malware from the URL filtering, file sync and share, and so on. So as well, to manage all your client, our management comes with the multi-tenancy, whereby you can have unlimited of customers and you can do branding. So basically you can change the logo, change the color. Basically you want to change the URL, that can be done as well. And you can easily integrate with some of the RMM and also PSA platform that's ready to integrate if you want to manage all your clients from one single login and also one single console. And last but not least comes with the usage reporting. So basically, you will charge your customer on monthly basis based on their usage. So it's like a pay-as-you-go model, right? So this is Acronis Cyber Cloud at a glance. But today we'll focus on Acronis Cyber Backup and as well the Cyber Protect. All right. So let me quickly go through about the two type of the deployment option that you have that actually can deploy and sell the services to the customer. Acronis Hosted. So with the Acronis Hosted, Acronis Cyber Cloud Cluster and the cloud storage are hosted by Acronis. So with this, you can actually quickly start your business without any upfront investment in terms of hardware or software. So basically, you just need to sign up, and then you can start to create your customers and then resell all these services directly to your customer, and they will actually backing up to the Acronis data center. So this is one of the options. And the second option is we have a hybrid model. So hybrid model, the cloud storage is hosted by you, which is by service provider. You can basically deploy a gateway and connect to your own storage. So it can be an NFS, it can be S3 compatible storage, and as well the Microsoft Azure storage. So you can create even a multiple gateway example, like you can create one in Sydney, one in Melbourne, one in Perth, and then you can allow the customers to back up to the nearest data center or else to the cross state backup and things and so on. So this is similar like Acronis hosted, but the only difference is the storage will be hosted by you. So let's start with the first service, Acronis Cyber Backup Cloud. So what is a backup? So basically, is an agent that you can actually perform entire mission for all the workloads, and then with the full image backup, you can easily recover to the same mission or else to the different mission and back to business with a minimal downtime. So Acronis Cyber Cloud protects more than 20 platforms that incorporates the backup with industry most advanced anti-ransomware technology, safeguarding data and system in any environment. It can be a physical, it can be a virtual, on premises, or whether it's in a cloud. As a turnkey software as a service based solution, is a seamless to deploy, it is to manage, and does not add any complexity to any IT infrastructure, having almost no impact on the system performance. So as you can see from this slide, we support Microsoft product, any instance running in Azure or Microsoft Office 365, all the application and the database, Google, G Suite, Linux flavor, SAP HANA, Oracle database, Amazon EC2, mobile devices, and most of the famous hypervisor. So thousands of small to large service providers worldwide succeed by selling Acronis Backup as a service solution that easy to use, efficient, and secure. So some of the key features for Acronis Cyber Backup Cloud is we provide a complete business protection. So as I mentioned, we support most of the famous platform, and since we have the backup, obviously we should have one of the fastest recovery method so that you can back to business in minimal downtime. So one of the famous features is Acronis Instant Restore. So if you have a virtualization environment like a Hyper-V or VM environment, you can easily run Instant Restore, that it will actually pull the image from the backup storage and bring up the server in a matter of minutes or even seconds. So with the full image backup, you can easily perform a bare metal recovery to the same machine or to different machine, and even you can do a granular recovery. Open the Windows Explorer and go to the level of a files and folder level, and you can do any to any migration. From example, like from the physical you want to migrate to the virtualization, or from the virtual you want to migrate back to the cloud platform. So that can be done everything from the web-based console itself. And we provide flexible storage option. We are not limited to any particular storage, so you can back up to NAS and any public cloud storage. We provide you with the software-defined storage, Acronis Cyber Infrastructure. So once you create the gateway, basically you can connect to any public cloud storage and so on. And in terms of the management, it comes with a multi-tenant, as I mentioned previously, and you can actually provide the quota for each of the customer, and then you can manage it from one single console. And as well, you can actually provide a free customer trial. Basically, the trial comes with the 30 days. Customer actually can back up unlimited number of servers, and then they can back up the local storage. They can actually replicate to the cloud. So once they're happy with the software, you can once they sign up, basically you can convert their account to production at any time on the fly without need to reinstall any software, any agents. And we support automated backup agent update. Basically, from the management console, you can perform update agent for all the client machine that your customer have. So in terms of the innovative data protection, we have invented a lot of features in the past 20 years. Acronis Active Protection, this is one of our unique features whereby we can stop ransomware, where I will cover pretty much in a later slide. Acronis Notary to notarize your files and then you can send the same file to do a digital signature through Acronis ASign, and all the backup file comes with a TIBX archive format. So which means you can encrypt the backup file before it going out to the network, to the cloud. And we use advanced encryption standard 128, 192, and as well 256. That is the highest level of the encryption standard. So we provide a hybrid cloud and recovery with Acronis. So most of the customer want to comply to 3-to-1 rules, whereby they can back up to their local storage. So it can be their physical standalone server, they can be a VMs, can be a workstation, can be any hosting servers, can be application, can be a mobile devices, website. They can easily back up to the local storage and replicate to the cloud. So when I mention cloud, it can be Acronis Cloud or it can be Microsoft Azure storage. So Roshan will be covered more in detail how you can actually create a gateway and connect to Microsoft Azure in this case. So with this, as I mentioned, all the data are encrypted at AES-256 encryption in transit and as well the at rest. So as I mentioned, we can stop ransomware with artificial intelligence based ransomware protection. It's an advanced technology that uses sophisticated analysis and artificial intelligence to monitor your system for any erratic behavior and quickly stop it. If ransomware somehow manage to get through the first line of defense and start encrypting the file, Acronis Active Protection will quickly detect the encrypted and halt it, automatically restoring the file to the most recent backed up version. So in addition to protecting the corporate data, our agent also protect the backup file because regular backups are the ultimate defense against the ransomware. So if the data on your machine is backed up and stored off reach out from hackers, ransomware is a little more than nuisance. So the only software that can stop this kind of attack is Acronis Active Protection, which prevent any process in the system other than Acronis software from modifying the backup files. Acronis also implement a robust self-defense mechanism which eliminates any typical attack and does not allow criminal to disrupt the work of Acronis software or alter the backup files. So Acronis provide complete Microsoft Office 365 protection. So we can back up Exchange Online, OneDrive for Business, SharePoint Online, including the Microsoft Teams. So this is newly added. Previously, when you support 3 items, and so one of the use cases why you need to back up the Microsoft Office 365. So Microsoft only keeps data for 30 days and they are responsible for the infrastructure resiliency. But in terms of the data, the customer is responsible to keep it for a longer retention period. So some of the use cases is example like if let's say the human mistake, they go and delete it out of the old file and then they're unable to retrieve and they can't log a case with a Microsoft team because they only keep data for 30 days. And as well, you can actually perform the granular recovery. You can actually go to the Exchange Online, you can recover up to the mailbox or by email, reroute to the specific date and time, and then you can view the content, view the attachment, and then you can recover to the same location or the custom location. All right, so let's move to the second service, Acronis Cyber Protect. This is one of our security features. So what is Acronis Cyber Protect? Is our unique integration of backup with full stack, next generation anti-malware protection and comprehensive endpoint management tool. This synergy eliminates complexity, so customer can protect better while keeping the cost down. All in one cyber protection solution that integrates backup, recovery, DR, malware prevention, security control, remote assisted monitoring, and as well the reporting. So basically, it's a combination of data protection and cybersecurity, providing backup and security features in the one single agent. So there are 5 components provided by Acronis product. Proactive protection, that means the preventive measure increasing protection level of data, application, and system by the vulnerability assessment, patch management, URL filtering, and configuration management. This is a first level defense. And with the active protection, we can able to detect the attacks, protect the application themselves, and then a reactive protection. That means recover after the data loss, attacks, migration, DR, and forensic capability for the future analysis of the data. So not just a backup, we try to prevent before the attacks happen by but prevent and also they detect. So the traditional backups are reactive only. They don't protect of downtime or data loss in between of backup windows. They also cannot guarantee that the data recovered from the backup is the original replica and was not modified in the past. But with this, we also protect the backup file, and in case of the any ransomware attack, we detect and recover the file automatically for you. So what is the value for service provider by positioning Cyber Protect is you can sell more data protection services for more revenue, provide better SLA and easier operation. So you have the ability to protect customers' infrastructure beyond backup by selling more services to your customer and improve average revenue per user, improve the SLA and stay ahead of competition by proactively avoid customer downtime and enabling immediate recovery. Simplify administration with one centralized control. You manage all the services, keep your costs down with one tool for all your daily tasks: backup, recovery, onboarding, monitoring, management, remote assistance, as well the reporting. So improve the customer satisfaction and decrease churn with less customer downtime. So let me quickly go through some of the key features for Cyber Protect. So basically, you can uh, discover the devices in your on-premises. So basically, you can scan through the entire network by installing at least one agent, and then you can use it as a proxy to scan through via Active Directory, or you can actually manually specify the host name as well as the IP name, and you can deploy uh, remote agent installation, and you can apply the unified backup policy. Once you create the backup policy, basically you can apply all the same policies to the management. So with that, you also can perform a vulnerability assessment to identify whether all these software are up to date with the latest uh, patches, and you can perform patch management to Microsoft product and also the third-party product. We support up to 34 software. Basically, you can schedule the patches, or as well you can create an ad hoc task to do the patch management. And we also defend against the ransomware and also the malware with our agent that I have explained previously. And you can actually perform protection with the backup and as well the DR. And we also have one of the unique features to detect the hard drive health control. Basically, we use artificial intelligence smart parameters tool to predict whether the hard drive is going to be fail or not. So you can actually rely on the report about 98.5% and schedule and downtime to replay the hard drive before the disaster happened. All right. And as well, we also have a forensic information in backup. Basically, if you're dealing with the FIS industry and their data are very crucial, and there can be hackers come and do some changes, or users went and made some changes, so you can perform forensic backup and collect all the digital evidence for further investigation. And as well, you can perform a remote desktop from the Acronis Cyber Cloud console itself without need to have additional software. You need to open certain ports to RDP, firewall, and things. Without, you can eliminate all the hassle and dash RDP to the machine for further troubleshoot. All right. All right, in a nutshell, simple yet powerful. It's pretty much easy to start. Just few clicks, you can start your trial. There's no investment is required. Basically, there's no hardware, there's no software. Basically, you just sign up and then you can start selling all the Acronis services to your customer. And we have a ramp up period for new partners. Please contact Asha. She can explain more in details of how the ramp up period works. And it's pretty much easy to integrate. Just one simple deployment for multiple services. You can integrate with the RMM and also PSA, and also we have a RESTful API, and it's pretty much easy to sell. If your customer is already using backup, you can actually sell more services like security features. You can sell them patch management. patch management, and then you can also sell them like a DR for them and so on. And it's pretty much easy to manage. As I mentioned, it's a multi-tenancy. You can have unlimited clients created in one single console, and you can have quite a number of users to manage all your clients. It's pretty much easy to comply. You can choose where you want to back up, whether you want to go with Acronis storage, or you want to go with Microsoft Azure. It's up to you. All right, and it's pretty much easy to build your brand. So basically, you can upload your logo and leverage with a powered by Acronis sign in the you will see it at the bottom, and as well you can actually provide a flexible offering management to your customer. All right, so that's end of my presentation for today. Let me hand over to Roshan, and he will go through how the integration with the Microsoft Azure with Acronis works and how the gateway and so on. All right, over to you, Roshan. Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh. Thank you for that brief introduction into Acronis. Hello, everyone. This is Roshan here. I work as a Azure Solution Architect with Ingram Micro Australia, based in Melbourne. And in today's session, I'll be talking you through how you can integrate Acronis solution, Acronis suite of products with Microsoft Azure. Now, most of the partners and customers have started to move their infrastructure to Azure or to one of the public cloud offerings. And though you're running your infrastructure like on virtual machines on public cloud, it is still very important to protect those virtual machines. And Acronis has a very intelligent software that can plug into virtual machines that are running on Azure and back up them onto Azure storage itself. Additionally, if you are a customer or if you have customers who currently have hybrid setups where they have some of their infrastructure running on-prem, some of the infrastructure running in Azure, you can have Acronis as one unified solution that can take backup of both on-prem infrastructure and Azure infrastructure and put the backup of these machines or these servers onto Azure storage. So the first solution which Acronis has is called as Azure Backup Gateway. Now, this Azure Backup Gateway is a very special software that will help you integrate your on-premise infrastructure with Azure storage. So if you have a scenario where you have customers who are running their, let's say, Active Directory and file server and another application or an RDS farm on-premise, and they want to have a reliable backup solution that not only stores backup on-prem, but also stores backup on the cloud, then Acronis Backup Gateway is one of those options which you can use. So this is available on Azure in the demo. I will be showing you how you can go ahead and implement it. And what this does is this can go ahead, back up your local laptops, desktops, servers, virtual machines, and store that backup onto Azure storage. So it gives you that integration. It acts as a gateway between your on-premise infrastructure and Azure. And deployment of storage gateway is very, very simple, very easy. And as soon as it is deployed, it actually shows the storage component in the Azure, in the Acronis console. And the other big advantage is the Acronis storage gateway is actually using Azure Blob storage in the backend. Blob storage is one of the cheapest storages available on Azure. So you can scale to any limit and you can pay as you use. So your customer doesn't need to buy, let's say, 5 terabyte or 10 terabyte storage for his on-prem planning for the next 5 to 10 years. He can actually pay as he uses on Azure Blob storage and take the backup of his on-prem infrastructure. So it is a very cost efficient way of backing up your SMB and SME customers onto cloud. The other solution that Acronis has on Azure is the Acronis Azure VM extension. So if you have customers who are currently running on Azure or who would in the very near future move their infrastructure to Azure, again, as I said, backing up your virtual machine is very, very critical. You might have intentional or unintentional deletion of data, and backup is the only solution that can help you recover from that data loss. So backing up your Windows machines or Linux machines which run on Azure is also very important. And Acronis has a very straightforward plugin which can automatically install on your Linux or Windows machine and start backing it up to Azure storage. So this VM extension is again out of the box in the quick demo, which I will show after these slides. You will see how easy and simple it is to just attach this particular plugin to your virtual machine, whether it is newly created or whether it is during the creation of a virtual machine or to an virtual machine which is already created, right? So in both the scenarios, you can have this plugin installed on your VM and start taking backup of it, managing the backup of it within the Acronis console. So that these are two broad, I would say, examples of how you can protect your infrastructure using Acronis and Azure, and use the Azure storage, which is the Azure Blob Storage, in order to store your backup. Now, what I want to do is I quickly want to run through two quick scenarios of where these two products fit in, right? So most of the customers that I come across use some sort of Office 365, are using some kind of ERP like MyOp or Zero, and have a file server on-prem. So in this scenario, you can use the entire Acronis suite to back up your Microsoft 365. You can use your their suite of products to back up file server, application server, end user laptops and desktops. So as you can see, Acronis as a solution provides you products and tools to basically protect your entire infrastructure, entire end customer infrastructure. And with the integration of Azure, you can actually start saving this data on the Azure storage. So the customer doesn't need to have any IT footprint on-prem. They can move all their applications to cloud and also protect their applications which are running on cloud using the integration of Acronis and Azure. Another scenario, let's say if you have a customer who's already using Office 365 or Microsoft 365 and running one or two virtual machines on Azure. It can be Windows Virtual Desktop, it can be just virtual machines, Windows or Linux virtual machines. And let's say they're also running SQL Server on one of those virtual machines. Acronis agent can recognize the application. Acronis actually provides application consistent backup, especially for SQL and SharePoint and applications like this. And you can back up them and store it onto Microsoft Azure storage. So hopefully these scenarios give you a clear idea of which solution, which product you can position in different scenarios. And let's quickly jump onto the demo, and I will show you how you can go ahead and deploy these solutions. Where do you find them on the Azure portal? Okay, so let me confirm. Daniel, Suresh, can you confirm if you're able to see the screen sharing clearly?
Yes, I can see.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've logged into my Azure portal. So here, what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and showing you how you can deploy the Acronis Backup Gateway first, and then we'll talk about Acronis VM extension. So for Acronis Backup Gateway, all you need to do is just search for Acronis or Acronis Backup Gateway, and you will find this marketplace item called as Acronis Backup Gateway. Right? When you click on it, it's a very simple wizard-based deployment. Right? It's a very step-by-step based deployment. What it is actually doing in the backend is it is going ahead and creating a Linux virtual machine on which the software would be deployed. Now, Acronis Backup Gateway as a software itself is free to use. There is no charge associated with the Acronis Backup Gateway software, but you will still need to pay for the uptime of this virtual machine and the blob storage that it uses. So there's no license associated with the software or even the Linux operating system. It's just the uptime of the virtual machine. So when I go ahead and hit create here, it'll take me through this very simple wizard. So it'll ask me to select the subscription, the resource group. So I'll go ahead and create a a quick resource group saying test. Now, I've already created a backup gateway. I'll not complete this entire wizard because it does take, I would say, about 10 minutes to complete this wizard. So I'll show you the full steps and then we can see how the end result looks like. So I've selected a region. So I've selected Australia East. So if your customer is in Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra, I mean, throughout Australia, you can select. If your customers are national customers, if they have organizations or branch locations in UK, in Singapore, you can always select the closest region to them and deploy the gateway server in that region as well. So I'll quickly go ahead and mention the username and password here. Okay, I can restrict what kind of access to the storage have. I'll say allow for the management panel. I don't need the SSH access. Now this is the Acronis storage management panel password. So I'll quickly use a strong password here. Now it is very important that you always use strong passwords. Now this is where you select the virtual machine, right? So the recommended is 4-core 8 GB for mid to large customers. If you are looking at for a small size customer, let's say if you have customer size of customers who have, let's say 20 odd desktops, a couple of servers and couple of virtual machines, right? So for those scenarios, you can also look at a 2-core 4 GB machine as well. So you can select any sized virtual machine. Do remember this virtual machine is stateless, which means it does not store your backup file. It is more of an intermediate channel between your on-prem servers or your source with your Azure blob storage. Right, so I'll select a smaller sized virtual machine. I can go ahead and configure a storage account here. I'll quickly say test Acronis. Okay, so general purpose. Now again, to improve your redundancy, you can select if you want geo-redundant, locally redundant. So locally redundant will give you 3 copies of your data. Geo-redundant will give you 6 copies of data spread across 2 different regions. So depending on how you would like to use, you can choose that. So all the Azure benefits that you get with storage is also passed on to the Acronis storage as well. Now this is where you mention your Acronis credentials, right? So this is where you say that I want to associate this backup gateway to my Acronis account, right? So what I'll do now is I'll switch to my Acronis account where I've already gone ahead and published this. So this is the last step that you put in here. So for example, if I say this is my Acronis account. Let me retype it. Okay. So when you go ahead and review, it'll just go ahead and do a final validation. And once you click create, this takes about, as I said, about 10 minutes to create. Once created, this is where you would see. So I'm currently logged into Acronis management. So as you can see, it's very simple, very straightforward. Now here, if I go to settings, under storage and locations, I have my Azure storage. So once your gateway gets provisioned, this is where you will actually see your Acronis storage or Azure storage via the Acronis Backup Gateway being displayed, right? So from here, I can pass this storage to my clients. So I have added a couple of clients. For example, I've added Contoso and CloudMe as a client. Now, once Contoso, who is my customer, starts backing up his virtual machines of storage, it by default is now going into Azure storage. So I've configured the storage, I've configured the services for my customer, and I'm giving both of these pre-configured systems to the customer, and customer can himself do the backup, or you as service provider can go ahead and and manage the entire service for him. So here, as you can see, I can see the various services that I've offered him. He can take backup of Office 365. He can protect his virtual machines and servers. So I've given him different plans as well. Now, I have another customer called CloudMe, and I can click on the customer and see what has he protected. Now here he has limited number of machines and servers that he can protect, and again the Azure storage has been passed on to him. So you as a service provider can either manage your entire backup and protection of your customer using the Acronis console, or you can pass on, you can delegate that to your customer. Let's say if your customer has a decent enough IT team, they can manage their infrastructure by themselves, and you can just monitor and take care of any support or escalation issues that come from them. So this is a quick introduction of how you can integrate Acronis Backup Gateway. So do remember, Acronis Backup Gateway is primarily used if you want to integrate or if you want to move the backup of your on-premise infrastructure, or take the backup of your on-premise infrastructure and put it onto Azure storage. Right now, for applications or virtual machines which are already running in Azure, how do you go ahead and protect them? For example, let me go ahead into one of the servers here. Let me log on to my virtual machines. So if I go to desktop, this is one of my virtual machines which are running. And if I go to extensions here, you can see I already have added the Acronis backup agent. And how is it? How can I go ahead and add it? If I click on add here, and this is for an existing virtual machine, I can quickly scroll down. Is here, right? So if I click on this and hit create, what this does is it goes ahead and deploys an agent of Acronis backup onto this virtual machine. And once deployed, I can go ahead and manage the virtual machine backup from the Acronis console. Now, again, if you have given permissions to the customer to do it, he can do it by himself. If you are managing it, you can go ahead and deploy and then start taking up the backup of those virtual machine. So if I'm logging into the customer subscription now, so I'm logging into the customer's account. Now here I can see what is protected, what activities are failed, and this is the same console that even your customer can see if he logs in. Right now, if I look at devices, I'm currently protecting two devices. One is server and one is desktop. Right. If I want to backup right now, I can go ahead and do it. If I click on recover, it will show me the recent point in time recovery option for, right? So I can look at this, I can say recover files and folders, and in a couple of minutes, it will show me the entire files and folders which I can recover from this virtual machine, right? So I can go into each folder's files and pretty much recover the entire folder structure if required, right? So these are the options which are available from Acronis Backup Agent. Now, as I said, it can back up both Windows and Linux. Currently, I've only done it for Windows, but it will definitely go ahead and work for Linux as well. So this was a quick demo which I wanted to cover as part of today's session. Do let me know if you have any questions for us. Back to you, Daniel.
Great, thanks again, Roshan and Suresh, for covering how Acronis integrates seamlessly into Azure. Roshan, do you still have the slide there with you?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, if you can share the screen from the Q&A slides, we'll cover the questions that the audience has submitted. As a reminder, if you have any questions that you have not yet submitted, please enter it into the Q&A chat box now, and we'll get through as many questions as time allows. All right, so it looks like we do have a few questions from the audience. Okay, so we've got one question here. How do you license VMs and applications running in Azure?
All right, okay, Daniel. So I guess the question for me. Okay, so how do you license VMs and applications running in Azure? Acronis license based on per device or per GB basis. That means when it comes on per device, that means we just calculate the number of VMs, and we don't We don't calculate the application where the database running in the particular VM, just purely based on per device model. So example, we charge one VM about maybe $10. So they just need to pay for $10. And if they're backing up to their own storage, they don't pay anything else just for per device. If they are backing up to Acronis Cloud, so that will be additional charges for the cloud storage. And as if the license they go with a per GB basis, we don't count number of VMs that they have. Is support unlimited of VMs. It's purely the license purely based on per GB basis. That means, example, they have about 1 terabyte and they have about 100 server, 100 VM. So we don't charge on the number of device. It's purely based on per capacity basis.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Suresh. We've got another one here. If a server VM failed, is there an image restore rather than having to make a new VM and doing a file restore?
Okay. In terms of restoration, if they are, depends where they want to restore. If they want to restore the to Azure, basically we support V2V. That means they should have create one VM with a pre-install with the Acronis agent, and then they can basically choose that particular VM as the destination and restore as a full image backup. If they are asking about the files and folder level backup, yes, we do support. Even though with the entire mission backup, they can go ahead and drill down up to files and folder level granular recovery.
Great, thanks, Suresh. All right, is there an option for Dropbox Business Backup, cloud to cloud?
No, we don't support backing up Dropbox for this moment.
Okay, no worries there, Suresh. Okay, so just looking through the questions here. Do I need to install the protection agent inside virtual machines to get Acronis active protection?
Yes, installing the protection in VMs is required not only for Acronis Active Protection but also for other anti-malware features. So the agent is required because that is the the agent will actually works and to detect, stop the process, and also block, and also it will also recover the file automatically for you.
Awesome. All right, is service provider hosted storage supported by Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud?
Yes, but anti-malware scanning of the backup and safe recovery will not be supported. So these functions are only supported in Acronis cloud storage. That means it's Acronis-hosted.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Suresh. All right. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to type it in the chat box now. It looks like that's all the questions that we have today. If you do have any questions, just feel free to enter in the chat box. Otherwise, we can answer these questions at the end of the webinar. All right, so here are your point of contacts at Ingram Micro if you need any assistance or support with Acronis. If you haven't been in touch with Asha already, she's more than happy to look after you for Acronis related inquiries. Make sure you save the email addresses there. We'll be more than happy to support you with any of the questions that you guys may have. All right, so if you have made it this far, we have saved the best for last. So to show our love for all of our partners, how better to celebrate Christmas than giving money away? So we are giving money away for a range of deals you register with Ingram Micro. As you can see on the banner on the left-hand side, Acronis is included in this promo. So get in quick and claim your sales to be rewarded cash rebates. In order to be eligible, as you can see on the right-hand side, there is a minimum deal size requirement. The larger your deal size is, the more cash rewards you receive. Promo ends at the end of this month, so get in quick, and obviously TNCs apply. Please also make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, search for Ingram Micro Cloud ANZ for all updates Ingram Micro Cloud, including these exciting promos. Again, thanks to everyone who joined us for today's webinar. We really appreciate your time. Thanks again to Suresh and Roshan for sharing your insight and expertise. Again, we want all of you to claim those cash rewards. So if there's an opportunity you need immediate assistance with, please reach out to either Asha or myself. Again, thanks again for your time, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.